Welcome back, everyone. It is time to finally finish the Guardian, as I so aptly named it there. There's still some things that I'm not really content with, but it's time to gear it out regardless. And upon thinking about it after my last video there, considering I want to test this against the dragon first, I want to try taking out these support fields because I have absolutely no idea how effective they're going to be, and replace them with the shield generator. So that way, at least then I have a component that will actually be useful against the dragon. I just don't know where to expect it as providing how much kind of a resistance it will actually offer with the experience I've had with my wasp so far, which only give like 2 defense all for each component that it has. So I am curious to see if this actually is enhanced or lowered as a result to the fact that it's like a bigger scale ship. Because if it does scale, give me maybe 4 defense or something, maybe it will be worth it to an extent to have these. If not, well, I will probably just replace them with something else then. But otherwise, like I said, let's get these components in here. Just rotate a little bit to get used to that, I guess. At least there, that will help like a little bit with the visuals that I dislike there. Hell, I almost wonder if I want to rotate this way and then make it scale big enough that it goes right against the sides there. Would that be a good idea or not? Probably a dumb idea. Probably a dumb idea, I'm not sure. I'm just gonna play with it and see. I'll have to rotate the other way around just for the sake of completion, maybe? No, it's no different on the other side either, damn it. Oh well, my plan there is already foiled. Just a little bit. And here I just want to fool around and get something that worked. It is not working out very well, needless to say. At least that looks a little bit better than it did like sideways, so I'm okay with it in that regard. Do want 5 degrees. I don't know. I better stop playing with it while I'm ahead, quite frankly. But I think that looks better like that than sideways. If you want my opinion anyway. Let me get back on track there. We had prototype uranium railguns on here, and I'm content with sticking with that. I just don't know if I want to put more railguns or not. I stick with the one. Because technically, that makes it have like 4 railguns in one. So that sounds pretty damn good if you ask me. With bigger punch, still short range though, mind you. But it gives us a lot more room to put other weaponry on here. So I'm going to start off by putting a couple of missile launchers on the side here. These will be like our what is it, broadside or dorsal tubes? I don't know. I can't quite remember the term off the top of my head what kind of these side kind of missiles are called. Broadside, well, I know it's a broadside essentially there, but consider these are guided weaponries, and it doesn't really matter if the target's on the side or not. It works out its functions regardless. Never mind me just ranting on there pointlessly. Let's just get this missile in here. And how big do I want it to be? Because I don't know what kind of size I want these missiles. Let me go 25 and try and make that fit. Because ideally I'm going to have like 2 or 3 of these in here, so copies of them are welcomed. And we'll see if that helps a little, how it works. We'll add 1 more, and of course there's going to be plenty of room for more as I get better tech, ideally. And do I want to put more in? Let me put my lasers on first before I decide to put more in or not. And then we'll see. At least it helps as a way to fill out these bald spots, as I so aptly called them. Seems they have like nothing there to kind of give it some visual. Yeah, it stands out quite frankly to me there because of the bigger textures. So having some bigger weaponry kind of helps a little bit. Although their size like that when they're at a scale 100 is a little excessive, needless to say. So it's going to put that into place there. And there we go. We got ourselves 4 missile tubes that shoot out from the front. I don't know if I really want to sink them in more or not. Because how much is ideal to stick them out there? Quite frankly, I guess that's good enough as is. Hopefully. Otherwise, although with them as small as they are, it doesn't really solve much, does it? Not really, unfortunately. So we still got about 70 extra mass hull to work with here, so we got room for lots of lasers. I just have no clue where to put these lasers at, which is going to be a bit of a problem here. There's not while the missile tubes were easy there, lasers may not be as simple, considering they're just going to fire straight at the target there, where the missiles actually fire properly. From what I saw looking at my Watcher, which is frankly the only ship that uses them, the missiles that is, whereas they actually shoot out from the side then curve to the target. Here, lasers do not discriminate where they go to. They are just gonna go straight to target and straight to your own ship if possible. So it makes it not as immersive an experience, I guess, although considering this is a 4X game, I don't think immersion is really experience you go for with these kind of games. But considering I'm building my own ship, I'm trying to make it like seem accurate to an extent. That's the hope anyway. The attention, and it's not gonna really work out that way. Alright, so how do I want to put these lasers in? Because I kind of lack like little turret mounts for just to conveniently place them on there, which is a little annoying actually. These things almost look like they were meant to be put onto something else that would potentially maneuver around. And of course I can't get anything that small. So yeah, this looks like an awful spot to put the lasers, quite frankly, if I were to guess. I am not sure. And it won't let me zoom in anymore, so it's impossible to really tell. Which sucks a little bit. Not to get in there to enjoy, we'll go over the finer details and make sure everything seems as flush as it could be. But I guess I'm just being needlessly picky. I guess that's about as well as it can do. Where do I want to put the other lasers though? I think I want to put at least 2 more lasers on here, if possible. I just don't know where I want to put them. Considering this is a big massive ship, it would need a lot of weaponry. At least more weaponry than the pulverizer, because that thing shoots a crap ton of lasers. This one's gonna, at the moment, it's only gonna shoot 5 different weaponry there. So it's gonna feel like. At least laser down the bottom there, at least is a simple fix. So what is next? Where else is good to put some laser batteries on this thing? Quite frankly, I don't think there's much places I can put it there that works well with the laser battery at least. Missiles on the other hand, I could just put a bunch of missiles along the side there and it works well. Not so much for the laser batteries unless I want to make it part of the shell. At least this top metal frame, that's the only position I can think of. And I did have a spot there to connect the two. Okay, did I get where I want it? Not exactly. But we'll see if we can work with it regardless. And I do not want it that big. God no. Massive lasers do less damage than the deranged drivers that are right underneath it. I don't think we need that. It is not the priority. Well, what I'm trying to say is we don't need the lasers, which are like less than half the damage of the duranium drivers, being perceived as the bigger threat, the bigger weaponry. Let us stick with the Duranium drivers being the main weapon. And we still got plenty of mass to work with. Although to be fair, if these field things, all ships in the fleet, do I want multiples of those? Considering I already got a piece like that there for the ship itself. Yeah, limit 1 per ship, so what the hell does this do? 1 tactical repair, 10 mass. So I think that's what I want to do. Keep it repairing itself. It helps make this thing be more of a tank at least. Something durable. And come to think of it, also makes me wonder if I want... I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, Duranium Hull. If I want to put Duranium Hull on this thing as well. Which quite frankly I don't think I want to do. And I want to put this repair field up on top. But I don't think it's going to let me center it. And it looks exactly like the armor. Was it? The integrity field. So that's going to be amusing if I decide to put 2 of them on there. I'm going to have to sink one into the ship entirely, I guess. And this I was hoping to have it kind of like stick out a little to basically help cover over some of this. The only question is, do I want to stretch out longer or not? Or really, it doesn't need to be that... I don't think I need to do that much, do I? It almost can sink in right into the observation network, or what is called, whatever I called it there before. It does stick out a bit there, and the textures are odd. Maybe it's not a big deal overhead, but it's the first thing that sticks out to me. Unless I stretch out the texture some. That kind of works alright though, considering it doesn't mess up with any of the lighting there, so having that metal components go through is not really a bad thing. What looks better though? Because yeah, I don't think I care much for that metal frame sticking out a whole lot. Now, what happens if I shrink or heighten it? That actually looks better the narrower it is, quite frankly. Again, textures are a bit of an issue. Yeah, that's too narrow, mind you, so we'll stick with 20. That works pretty good. And what about height? There we go. Just barely low enough that it stays under that metal frame. I think that's pretty good. Now we are down to about 20 more mass, so again, it's still unknown if I want to use the integrity field and missile disruptor. Maybe I just throw them on there now. That way I don't have to try and make room for all of it there if I decide to keep it. Maybe I'll do that then. If for some reason I don't want it, then at least I got a lot of mass to work with for more weaponry. Now, can I please get the right spot I want to connect it to? Because if I don't connect in the right spot, then it's going to give me multiples like that, which is going to be annoying. So I'm just looking at these other modules, see... Oh, they're all required Promethean anyway. And we have the Solium Hull reinforcement, which I don't think I care for. Because really, 15 hit points for only 1 Duranium does not seem worth it in my mind. Unless I can get a massive upgrade. Because basically, my prototype Duranium mass driver will go through that in 2 shots, assuming they hit. So yeah. Alright, anyways. Well, let me try. No, that's the exact same spot I got before, damn it. Let me at least get this there. Finally. Finally got in there. We'll shrink that down and it'll fit in there nicely with the location I was aiming for. I don't know, is it where I want it? Nope, it needs to move forward a little bit. It kind of sucks everything's darkened out. It makes it a little bit difficult to know where I'm placing it. Like right there is pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. It's very minor, mind you. Hardly noticeable, but it works. It works, and I have room for the integrity field, but I'm just curious. We got targeting scanners, but is that really worth it? Lasers got massive accuracy, missiles are perfectly accurate, and only the duranium drivers don't have that. And of course, I'm not even using any of the modifiers. Was it the reloader? Is it? Yeah, I'm not using a reloader anyway to reduce it, which causes it to reduce its accuracy. So there's not much point in that. And like I said about this integrity field, unless I can find a good spot for a second one, I'll just hide this here, I believe. We'll see. Interesting, it's not centered though. So, can I do this again with another one like this? Shrink it down. Let me find out. If I shrink it enough. That's not bad there. There's something I like about those components there. That work well when they're barely big enough to fit. When they're just the right size there. But how much do I want exposed of it? It adds a little more to the top there. Missiles are kind of small, if I were to say so myself. I don't think there's much I can do about that though without making them seem excessively big. But I think we're good with ourselves. There's a lot of new weaponry on here I'm not sure about though. Like the carrier module, I have no idea how useful that's going to be. I'm going to have to pay close attention to that. The structural enhancement, which gives it its own, allows it to repair itself, which in theory should make it insanely durable for long committed fights. And considering how massive the ship is, you think it would be able to get a lot of repairs in to help justify its durability. And what is the other one? Yeah, and that repairs all ships in the fleet, which sounds good for like a defensive ship. Considering, like I said, this is supposed to be an escort ship of sorts. Kind of like supporting my huge capital ship, which I will eventually make sometime down the campaign. Now, there's no way I can throw anything on here, is there? Not really. So we'll leave it at that. Make an escort ship. Yeah, really, with all these modules, it's really just an escort ship. And I don't know if the firepower is worthwhile or not. Like I said, the carrier module and all these aux utility support fields is kind of like the main reason here, so we will see. And at a glance, it doesn't look like much, does it? Like I said, I'm kind of half worried it looks like a barge or a freighter of some kind. I like it overall, but there is a lot of like misplaced stuff, like these shield like this energy field here. Probably doesn't work very well up there now that I'm thinking about it. Well, like I said, I'll have to try and refine it some more, because I really dislike the top half. Bottom half works well, and it has the bulk I'm looking for, so it's not a complete failure. I would think so anyway. And we are looking at almost 700 manufacturing costs, 8 maintenance to supply it. It takes up about 5 logistics, well 6 logistics really, and 250 health, and a lot of this is going to get boosted when I build them on Mithrander because of all the Hyperion stuff that I have. So I cannot wait. How many turns would that actually take on Mithrander? 8 turns to build one of these massive ships, so I am excited. Whether it's gonna be effective or not, I have no clue, but we'll find out soon enough.